Because you're not
Yeah.
supposed to get up to. Oh no.
No, I am comfortable, but it always takes me about 30 seconds to a minute just to get my breathing right again.
Yeah, seriously. Oh, I totally get that.
And if I'm
I
not,
know that whole story. Yeah.
if I'm,
I'm the first person on CFRN to take. I was hosting a program, the In Touch show with Kimberlee Dawn. And instead of the host being there, he was sick, so I had to host the show that day. I had to go pee so bad. I could not handle it. So I went during the commercial break. That's like unfreaking heard of. It does not happen. They were so upset. I got back and I had seconds to spare yet. And remember, when you're on set, they have to mic you up and everything, right? So you got to stick that thing up your shirt and clip it in, blah, 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 blah. And, oh, and they didn't have the digital ones like they do today. So this is cords running everywhere that you've got to disguise with your clothing, right?
Right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I was the only one on their show where they ever had to go to commercial break and go to blank air. Nothing playing. Because on Popcorn Playhouse, I made a very bad joke that my grandfather told me to say. My old cowboy, my buddy. What goes in long and hard and comes out soft and sticky? Oh, what kind of a 6-year-old or 5-year-old says a joke like that? It's Wrigley's gum. It's Wrigley's gum. But they started laughing so hard. Eric Neville and those guys, they started laughing so hard they couldn't handle it. And so they had to, they couldn't even go over to a cartoon. They just blank air. And then when I show up to do the In Touch show, he looks at me. He says, "Are you the little girl that blah, 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 blah on my show in Popcorn?" And it was this is 20 some years later, right? I was surprised he recognized me, and he did. And yes, I caused a disruption there many times. It was good. So we'll cause a disruption on your show somehow.
Oh, too funny.
And we're taping?
We're taping.
Okay. Have a cup of tea. Have a sip of tea.
No, I'm good. Apologize for the break. Really needed to go to the washroom. I've been guzzling the Timmy's coffee this morning, actually trying to wake up. Had a hard time waking up this morning. And so I apologize for the little disruption, but gave me a chance to actually go grab a cigarette. Yes, I'm still trying to quit. And grab some tea. So, we're back with Kimberlee Dawn. And my thank you to Kimberlee Dawn for teaching me how to be human. And have no idea where we're going with this. With all my videos, I'm just gonna, a little something for you guys. There's a reason I wear a helmet and I don't show my face very often. I've never wanted you guys to personally identify with me. I wanted the story, the emotion, the feeling to be more important than me. I've wanted to share something with you without me being the identifier. So,
That's just like you, Scott, and I'm really proud of you. And that's something that nobody does anymore. It's all about themselves.
I know.
And I'm really proud of you, and I'm happy for your viewers that they can see and experience something that's real. That's a really big deal. Really big deal. Doesn't happen much anymore.
No, it doesn't. So, with all my videos, I never know where I'm going. I let my words come to me as a video starts. And Jack, you made me laugh so much on the inside. When I started my videos up again this year, we were on our bikes in front of my place. And I go, "I'm not sure what I'm going to say, Jack." He goes, "You will in a few minutes."
That's true. You have to be in the moment.
Yeah.
You have to be able to ad-lib to do anything like this. And I think people watching things think, "Oh, it's so easy, I could do that." Until they've got to actually set it up and do it, and it's a real talent. I've done, oh my gosh, I think I'm the most publicized psychic in Canada. I've done so much radio, so much TV, so many newspapers, so many interviews over the years. that I don't think people realize what a toll that takes. Like how difficult it really is to set that stuff up, but to show a real story, okay, that's different. Because generally speaking, when I'm doing a television program or something, they want, this is the end group, this is what they want you to do. So they tell me what they want me to do, and this is what we're doing today, Kimberlee, and blah, 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 blah. And, I have to do that. I perform that. Why do I have to do that? Well, because I'll never get another show and I won't have any business and I'll starve to death. That's why. On the other hand, then there's those producers, such as yourself, that will say, actually, let's just wing it and see what happens. And let's just gab and bullshit and be people in front of a camera, and let's not remember that there's a camera there, or let's try not to, or let's ignore it. And let's just talk, to each other. And people think that that's what an interview is when they're watching CNN, etc. No, it's not. We're told what to do and what they want us to say, etc. And when I've been bad, because I've been really bad, they misinterpreted what I said and they edited it for me to say something I did not say, no. I don't tolerate that. I went to other news sources and I made it very clear that that's what was happening, and I complained to the public. Why would I complain to a producer? What's he going to do about it? Nothing. So, no, I went to the people themselves. And I told the people, why would you trust me? Why would you think I am who I say I am because I'm on TV or the radio or news? Like, get your head straight. You make me prove it. You make me prove it. Then you can say that.
Right.
And Scott, I want to give something to your readers. I'm sorry. I'm old. I want to give something to your viewers today. As you know, I'm an old rodeo jock. So, I was busting broncs before I was 7. You know what I mean? Okay, so this is what I do for people in big demonstrations. And this is what I'm quite famous for and popular. That spoon has been bent, not by pressure. This spoon has been bent by heat because I use pyrokinesis and telekinesis, telekinesis to bend the spoon. And generally speaking, somebody else is holding this when I bend it.
Okay.
Okay. So these were held by the PGA, the Professional Golf Association, the director, and the physicists for TELUS, working on fiber optics, and TELUS telephones.
Oh, okay.
Edmonton telephones.
Yep.
Administrative, like presidents and stuff like that.
Oh, okay,
I
gotcha.
don't remember what their names are. I'm sorry, but. So that's what these spoons are from. These spoons are from them holding them, and that's what we did. We did a demonstration at the Golf Open, which is quite common. Now, you'll notice that this is broken. That can be that's going to be your bike. That's going to be you. If you're not aware of your circumstances and your surroundings. The amount of focus it takes me to do this, to move my personal energy in between the molecules of the metal of this spoon and make it pliable without the use of any acid under my fingernails like all the magicians do, etc. In order to do this under clinical circumstances, which we do, takes an enormous amount of energy. Enormous. But it's doable. And, during the break earlier, I had you stand up, and you're a pretty big guy, and I'm not that big, and I had you stand up and ask if you can move me, and you couldn't move me. And I usually, during the lecture, I'll take the biggest guy in the crowd, and I'll ask him to come up and try to move me, and he can't move me. And I ask martial artists, I ask football players, they can't move me. Why is that? Because energy, although it is invisible, it is physical. And as much as I use it, and I created a concept called energy manipulation, as opposed to telekinesis, in that respect, and I'm not going to explain it now, but you can use this concept when you're riding. If you're aware of your surroundings, if you are aware that energy, although it's invisible, it is physical and can do mighty things, then you will be able to understand that you can feel the vehicles behind you. I know you know that just by riding. I knew that when I was riding horses, because we were going to get kicked all the time. So you had to be really careful or there goes your ankle, right? Okay, same thing. But you have to, and you can, feel the energy in the area that you are riding in. Even though you're going quickly from A to B, you are going through that time and you can still feel every increment of energy there. And as those other drivers are moving with you, you become accustomed. And if somebody new comes onto the scene, then you can feel them. And you can be in a position where if you're going to be in an accident and you know that this is about to happen, you'll know it's going to happen just before it's actually happening. Just before the mechanics of the accident are taking place. And you can feel what's wrong in the crowd. And if you're going to, and you see it, you can see what's happening, although it happens pretty damn fast. If you're here, you can think of yourself here. And so that you're not as damaged, so that the accident may actually still occur, but for an accident to happen, it's the best case scenario instead of, God forbid, the worst case scenario. So we want you safe, we want you happy, we want you riding style, and we want to make sure that you know that you have actual abilities out there when you're driving, when you're riding, when you're feeling free. Feeling free, however, is a responsibility. And that means you can actually feel your groupings. You can feel your surroundings. You can be aware of those surroundings in a way that you never thought possible before. It takes a little bit of practice. Some other show will show you how to do that. But for right now, just know that you can do that. It's important, and we want you to be having a really great time. A really great time. I want to wrap things up if I could, Scott.
More than welcome
We
to wrap
talked a
things
lot
up.
about, becoming human today and being aware of who we are inside, how we affect other people, how other people affect us, without having to become jaded. Or if we are in a bad situation, how can we come out of it realistically? Not this foo-for-ah, new age mumbo jumbo. Let's be realistic about it. Let's be real. You're going to go through stages, as you said. You're going to go through phases, as you said. Absolutely, I totally get that. But what we also want to do is remember that one of the points of humanity right now in our day and age is that everybody's trying to pay it forward. There's this concept of paying it forward. Okay, that's really good. It makes you feel good while you're standing in line. But I'm going to tell you something. Unless that little lady has got a couple of kids with her and she needs her groceries paid, now that's paying it forward. You want to put $30 on her bill? Do it. But buying somebody a coffee, please, give me a break. I mean, come on. Do something worthwhile with it. Something substantial. Something valuable. That's what being human is all about. That's what Scott's been talking about. He's been talking about how do you overcome the strife and really the terrors of the real world and being alone in the real world. You're alone. I know you are. I know that you got family, you got friends, or you're alone. But even when you've got family and friends, you all know you're a little bit different. Not only are you bikers, but you know what it is to feel a type of power that other people don't really experience unless they're riding a bike or a horse, honestly. That's how I've always seen it. And I want to explain that being psychic is something like that. You know that you've got something. And it's bizarre, but there's this control that you have. And I want you all to be able to experience that, at least to some degree, that's for darn sure. And I want to make it clear that, people think that they're very progressive. They're very forward-thinking. They're more humane nowadays. They know more. Thank you to the internet, I guess. But really, that's also because you had a bunch of hippie parents and you had a new world when your parents were young. And when your grandparents were young. But it's mostly your grandparents, believe it or not. The problem is that when push comes to shove, when the hard times show up, people are killers. And what does that make them? Survivors. They're going to take your job. They're going to take your money. They're going to take your wife. They're going to take your old lady. They're going to take your bike if they can. They're going to take anything they can. That's survival. And we all choose to think that people aren't really like that. Yes, they are. That is what I have discovered in these, oh goodness, I'm not telling you how old I am, but most of my life doing readings, like since I was 3. People inside are survivors. That doesn't make them bad. It just makes them desperate. And when people are desperate and living in poverty, you will find that they will be killers and they will be survivors. And it's not that they'll murder you, but they'll kill your life in a little way. You know, they'll steal that bike, they'll do this, they'll do that. Well, that's because they're going to the pawn shop and they're trying to make money to buy diapers for their babies. Like, don't kid yourself. It's not so that they can just go out and buy drugs like everybody wants to believe. That's not true. We're in a crisis. The world is in a crisis right now. Stand above it. Be braver than that. Be better than that. Because you can. And that's what being human is all about. I think that's where we can go with that. And I'd like to say that you can fit in anywhere if you understand that. If you understand that human beings come push to shove, are going to push and shove, you'll be okay. And you can be as tough as this and as malleable as this, and you can move a little bit. And you can be something else. This is my favorite word. I'm sure you've heard me say it a few times today.
I love that. I do.
I wrote a chapter on it. I use it a lot. Fuck you. I love you.
Thank you, Kim, for your time.
Thanks for your time, Scott.
Thanks. I have no words right now. Hope you guys enjoyed this side of my life. I wasn't expecting to go into videos. It just kind of went that way. I look forward to some of the comments.
What can I say?
You guys take care.